Hi, my name is Melanie. I'm super jazzed to be here as always. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Libra. We've got a lot of things going on. It's also a super moon, so this is the third of a series of supermoons in 2020. I believe this one's actually the closest. So not only is it just a lovely new moon, it is a super new moon, and it is going to pack a punch this time around. In order to properly understand a zodiac sign, or at least start to get a good feel for its energy, I like to talk about 5 main things. It would be the element of the sign, the modality, the planetary ruler, the house that it's associated with, and the glyph or the symbolism associated with the zodiac sign. So the element that Libra is air. It is an air sign. Libra's modality is cardinal, just like Aries and Capricorn and Cancer. Libra is a cardinal sign. Libra is at home in the 7th house and therefore rules over the areas of the 7th house in your life. The glyph of Libra would be the scales. And finally, the planetary ruler of Libra is Venus. So what are some qualities that air lends to Libra? It's definitely a very cognitive sign. It is communicative, it likes to interact with the world, it's quite fast moving. I would say light-hearted in a sense, only because they're just so interested in so many things that it's hard for them to get almost bogged down and to dwell on a specific topic for too long. They just tend to have lots of little flights of fancy, right? It's that very quick moving, really engaged and in tune when they're paying attention to something, but their attention quickly goes to the next best thing or the next most interesting thing. Definitely lends the curious trait to air signs. They have a want and a need to learn and to interact and commune with the world around them. This definitely manifests and shows itself as interpersonal relationships with Libra, but you can see this quality in Gemini as well as Aquarius. It's very interactive and very engaged in the world. Libra is a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs are natural self-starters, and whether they want to be a leader or not, they often have natural leadership traits. So the cardinal energy that Libra has is very much so that initiative leader role, whether they are obvious about it or not. Cardinal signs also tend to be extremely passionate and interested in a specific area, and that's the area of their life that they tend to lead in. It's not that Libras are all around the bosses and the managers of the world. It's that the specific areas of a Libra's life that they are really excited about, really passionate about, they are the leaders in those areas just because they're so eccentric about it, because they're so curious about it, and because they're so engaged in that topic. Be able to recite every Black Sabbath lyric because they're a #1 fan, and they would organize all the pep rallies and be a leader for Black Sabbath's fan club. That's the kind of eccentric initiative I'm talking about. Libra is also at home in the 7th house, which is the house of marriage, or that's at least what it used to be called back in the day. It's more commonly referred to as being the house of partnerships, whether that is romantic relationships, business partnerships, how you interact with people on a one-on-one basis. It can also sometimes be referred to as the house of legal contracts, just because the legal binding contract of marriage. It has a lot to do with, like I said, one-on-one relationships, real connection and interaction between two people. It is opposite of the 1st house on the wheel. It's also why it often gets referred to as the scales, and I'll talk about that more when we get into discussing the glyph of Libra, but it's important to realize that the 1st house and the 7th house are opposite of each other. The 1st house is all about yourself and you and your identity and who you are and what you like and what you don't like. The 7th house is a lot more about that relationship, that partnership, whether that's how you interact with the world around you or with specific people, your business relationships. It's entering into a contract, in a sense, into an engagement, a communion with the world around you or the people in the world around you. It's the interaction, the connection between two. The 7th house is also associated with things like justice, fairness, balance, that kind of legal, is this right or is this wrong? The moral struggle of this. Like I said, the glyph for Libra is the scales. So we were talking about how it's literally that center axis. You've got the 1st house and the 7th house here, and then you've got an even number of houses above and below. And it's a perfect image when you look at the image of a scale of what the seventh house represents. It talks about the balance of everything. It talks about finding that middle ground, that pivotal axis point of equilibrium, of harmony. And Libra especially wants to find that happy medium. It's a funny joke that I have where if you give Libra two options, they'll look for the third choice. Of course, Libras get that bad rap for being extremely indecisive, and yes, if you have a really passive Libra or a Libra in a situation where they don't want to make anybody mad, they will have a hard time making decisions like that. It's not the end of the world to be indecisive, but you have to understand if you're someone with lots of Libran energy that it can be frustrating for the people around you. And same goes for the people who are dealing with people who have lots of Libra placements. Expecting them to be able to always have a yes or no answer or to make a decision on the spot without processing and asking a bunch of questions and having all the information that they might need to make the right, proper, balanced, well-rounded decision, that's not going to be a fast process for them. Last but not least, Libra is ruled by Venus, and once you start to see the connections between the luscious, lavish, feminine opulence of Venus and how that comes through in lots of Libra's lives, it's almost entertaining and funny at a certain point because they're so ruled by Venus. Just like Taurus, which is the other zodiac sign that is ruled by Venus, Librans love nice things, and it's not necessarily expensive, they just love the things they love. Going back to my Black Sabbath analogy, if they were to get like a limited release vinyl of like their favorite album that comes with a lyric sheet, they might frame it and put it on the wall and have nobody touch it. They're just obsessive and in love with the things that they love. If you, more often than not, go into a Libra's home, they enjoy a well-curated and a well-put-together aesthetic. It's not that they all have the same aesthetic, it's that whatever that Libra likes will be well-maintained, well-manicured, and be very presentable and pleasing to the five senses. And I say five senses because I'm talking about the lighting in their home. I'm talking about what incense they burn, or if they have scented candles, where and what they have on the shelves. Are the shelves really cluttered? Are certain types of items that are similar to other types of items only in one area? However they do it, there is a way that it is done. Being ruled by Venus, it's super important to mention that this lends that romantic love aspect to the ruler of the marriage house, the relationship guru, the astrological playboys of the world. There is, of course, a negative stigma that goes along with Libras, and that is that they always have to be in a relationship, or that they always have to have a romantic partner. And while that is definitely true for some of them, it's only true because they genuinely enjoy the connection with people. They're in relationships with people because they want to have that connection. They want to learn and share and experience life in a sense of togetherness. They enjoy that partnership, and it shouldn't be something that is condemned or frowned upon. I'm sure there are unhealthy manifestations of this trait, no doubt. People who go in and out of relationships repetitively because they don't know how to be alone, and that is a shadow aspect of being a Libra or working with the Libra archetype. It's having to balance out, yet again, a continuous theme of Libra, to balance out the me and them and us dynamics. You can't be only in a partnership without having a well-developed personal sense of self. So yes, be aware of that shadow side of Libra, of always needing to be in some type of partnership or relationship or some kind of interpersonal dynamic where you have a companion or people who play the roles of companion in your life, but by no means should the fear of being labeled as someone who hops from relationships keep you from the love of your life either. So take that all with a grain of salt. If you're planning on setting some intentions, planting new seeds, or working on any kind of new beginning for this new moon, I would recommend working in the area of the 7th house because it's so strongly associated with Libra energy. Look at your partnerships, look at your business deals, look at your romantic relationships, your friendships. Take stock of your idea of partnership and what that means to you personally. What is your personal relationship with yourself like? This is a great time to do an inventory, but if you are planning on working with this archetype or learning about the Libra energy and working with the new moon in some other way, ignore that suggestion. I am going to put up a beautiful image here, get you guys some nice tunes to listen to while you maybe write a few things down that you're really vibing with, or a few things that you might want to be focused on or working on. I'll see you back here in a few minutes with some suggestions of positive affirmations or certain types of intentions you might want to set that I feel like would work well with the Libra new moon. Hello, welcome back. I hope you took the time to reflect on how the Libra archetype can influence your life, or how you might want to utilize and work with this energy right now. I am going to give you a few suggestions of certain types of intentions or areas of your life that I could see this being beneficial in, as well as a few affirmations that I like to throw in just to sweeten the deal when working with a zodiac archetype. So an intention you might set would be to invest more time and conscious choice and energy into your top 5. And all I mean by that is reaching out to the 3 or 4 or 5 people that you consider your closest friends or family members, and spending some quality, intentional time with them, whether that is a Zoom call or going for a walk in a park and a coffee. Just putting that added intention and awareness and effort into the important people in your life. It is a great time to strengthen those relationships and really nurture the people that you spend time with. Prioritizing one-on-one interaction. For a lot of people, when they have so many friends like Libras tend to, they will hang out in larger groups because it's just more convenient to get everything done and all of the people hung out with, and you get busy, so you just try and see everybody all at once kind of thing. But it's important for certain friends, and I'm sure you're aware of the friends in your life who need this more than other ones, is that quality one-on-one time. Sometimes people don't really feel seen or heard when they are in a group of 5 friends, and they really need to be one-on-one with someone and to have that person take that interest in being one-on-one and spending quality personal time with them. So pay attention if you have any friends in your top 5 that need that one-on-one effect. Evaluate what you need in a romantic partner. So if you're anything like me, who's a huge pros and cons person, I had like 20 lists in most of my childhood journals about all of the things I was looking for in a partner. Well, now's a great time to get in touch with that inner child and make the list again. You don't have to write it down, but knowing the things that you do want out of a romantic relationship can make finding a relationship or having a healthy, happy relationship a lot easier. We as adults tend to know all the things that we don't like, but when we're sat down and asked what we want out of a relationship or what we need out of a relationship, we don't really know. We just know that we don't want them to be a cheater, or we don't want them to be selfish. And those are not very specific or helpful statements a lot of the time. So figure out what you want out of a relationship, if you even want one. Maybe at this point of your life, a relationship isn't what you want, and that needs to be recognized as well. I think it's important, especially when you're talking about romantic partners, to realize that you would then become someone else's partner as well in that situation. So I like to also write a list about, am I a person I would want to spend time with, and do kind of a personal check on things that I should maybe get better at. Like maybe I'm not a good listener and I would want to be with someone who's a good listener, so I'm going to try to get better at listening. It's a way to self-reflect and see how you can best serve and be your best self in a situation or a relationship. How can you be the type of person you would want to spend time with? Evaluate and work on existing relationships in your life. I don't mean necessarily romantic. It could be your friendships or your family relationships. Do some of them need more healthy boundaries? Do you need to see some friends that you haven't seen in a long time that you really miss that connection with? Evaluate the relationships you have in your life and see where you need some TLC and quality time, and see where you might need some stronger boundaries and some more space. Like I kind of already mentioned, this is a really great time to practice being a good friend. Or if you're a real gung-ho person, maybe ask your best friend how you could be a better friend for them. If you're really looking to be the best version of yourself and nurture and value relationships, asking for feedback never hurt. You want to do that with a person who's like a good person and a close friend, not someone who's like, you'd be a better friend if you gave me $20 every week. You know? So feel that one out. Organize some socialization, whether it's one-on-one and personal, or if you just want to provide people with an area where they can communicate and get ideas going and have just genuine good conversation. That really feeds a lot of Libras. They are often very social butterflies. Not always, some are introverts, but there are a lot of Libras out there who love having their curiosity sated by a good group discussion. Because Libra has a big aspect of justice, getting involved in any kind of social justice movement that you strongly believe in, and practicing things like your personal integrity and doing something when you say you're going to do it can really build up confidence and self-worth in a Libra. So working on areas of your life where you know you need to follow through and actually following through on some things, and your character development in that sense is a great thing to do during this Libra new moon. Now some fun, positive affirmations that you can kind of sprinkle in and around those more heavy-duty intentions just to affirm positive things in your life and to affirm energy you might be working with and feeling with because of the Libra new moon. I am loved. I know what I want. It's okay if I don't know what I want. I'm a good friend. I'm a great listener. I love my family and my friends. I can give and receive freely. I uphold justice to the best of my ability. I am honorable. I deserve good quality friends. I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown of the Libra archetype and my suggestions on how you can work with this new moon and Libra energy. There are a lot of other astrological events and huge, crazy, energetic shitstorms happening in the sky right now. What my new moon and zodiac series is all about is working with the very basic, simple energy of the new moon itself and the Libra archetype. I will gladly link you to other playlists and other videos on YouTube here that discuss these transiting aspects and how they are influencing the new moon. But I think something that I want to drive home as really important during this kind of transitional stage of 2020 would be the calming, pacifying, and peace-loving nature of the Libra energy. This new moon is a great culmination of a refreshing new beginning. A lot of the energy going on in the sky is really tumultuous right now, where we've got some squares happening and there's restriction and the heat from Mars and Aries and the cutting acidity almost of the tension going on in this world. And I think it is a great time to pull on the balancing, peaceful nature of Libra and to remember that balance is important and to keep a cool, smart head while we take in and consider lots of different information. So please call on that Libra good vibe, peace-loving juju for the next month, and may the force be with you. And if you are looking for more insights and other types of astrological readings, then I will be more than happy to link you below. I hope you have a very lovely up-and-coming Libra season. Stay warm and cozy, my friends, and I will see you next time.